friend here, the beer guy, who is Richard, who I met quite a few years ago now. What's that? 8 years ago. So he's about maybe his early 30s. He was in his 20s then. We met and he was a lovely guy. Nice young man. Anyway, we've kept in touch over the years. We met at a flatty thing, and what it is he sent me this link. Oh yeah, and sometimes I put bits of his videos out, don't I? Yeah, anyway, so he sent me this link. It's to this. It is a hangout that's happened on Rumble. I think it was live as well when he sent it to me. I only saw a bit of it and then my phone ran out of battery. But yeah, he talks about how he became a flatty, what he's into, Gematria, and so on. And what it is we'll just play a bit of this video. I know that Richard sent it to me, asked if I could copy a bit of it, and he said go for it. I don't think Jessie will mind. Obviously I've talked to him. I just don't think he'll mind me advertising this bit of video from his channel. So you still are on YouTube. Jessie, you're still on YouTube. Anyway, we'll just play a bit of this video.
Of the missing link, seen him a lot into the comments talking about some of his decodes and seeming that he had information that he wanted to share. We reached out and he's here on our show. Welcome to the missing link, the beer guy. How are you doing today, brother?
Yo, how we doing?
Doing okay. So why don't you start off with telling us about yourself and your journey, a little bit about your background, your education, what part of the world you grew up in, what part of the world you're in now, if you like disclosing that information, anything about your journey, what got you becoming awake and aware to what's going on and learning about the decodes, and you know that you wanted to share about your story with our audience here today, especially if they may be hearing you here for the first time.
Yeah, no, I ain't no popular guy. Martin Leakey, he knows me. He knows who I am. That were all the flat earth stuff. But yeah, so I don't know, probably about a decade ago, I started waking up. Just hearing my mates saying certain things, it seems to trigger me. And then yeah, you just go into rabbit holes. But yeah, it's all an experience. You learn bits of everything. I'm hoping that we get to talk about quite a lot of subjects, because I'm not a person that'll just sit there and focus on one thing and just be stuck on that one thing. I do specialize in a couple of things, probably like law, bit of flat earth, Gematria. So I like doing decodes. It seems to make sense to me. I know you had Zach on. Well, he weren't on. It were Richard, weren't it? Richard. He was on, and then Zach kind of hijacked it. Look, I tried to go on Zach's channel, just to call up and just to talk what I wanted to talk about, but he didn't want that. So he ended up kicking me off. But yeah, it's sorry, I've got my mate here. Yeah, but yeah, I've got certain things I want to talk about. I didn't really decode before. I tried it and I was like, oh, I can't really do it. And then I've come back to it recently, and for me, it just seems to be all linking to the eclipse. Everything just seems to be linking to the eclipse. So I'm gonna say all these things. Am I right to just keep speaking? Is that fine?
Yeah, you have an accent. You sound like you're Irish or maybe Scottish. So where's your accent from? Are you from are you from
I'm
the
from
UK?
Yorkshire. I'm from Yorkshire.
Yorkshire, okay.
Yeah,
You got a very strong kind of Irish sounding accent.
Now, when you live in the UK, you know what accent it is. It's strange because UK is so small, but there's like 20 accents to the whole country, so everyone's always guessing what everyone's saying. But yeah, Yorkshire.
Okay, so you just go on and you tell us everything that you want to talk about, and then after you're done, then I'll just start asking you some questions.
Yeah. So it's more like I look at Gematria, but obviously there's date durations, and date durations seem to play like quite a big role in what's happening in the world. This might dull people out, but I've got a lot to say on it. And if you don't like numbers, then I don't know why you don't like numbers. Numbers seem to attract me to things. 1111. People send me messages, and like I see numbers all the time. Numbers seem to be a thing for me. So Lord Jacob Rothschild. So I think everyone's probably heard that name before. He dies 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days after the American 8/21/17 eclipse, and 6 weeks before the 4/8/24 eclipse. His name, Jacob Rothschild, equals 66, and his full title, Lord Jacob Rothschild, equals 317, which is the 66th prime number. I don't know if you've probably never looked at. Have you looked at Gematria before, Jessie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you used the calculator before?
No, I haven't.
So yeah, basically there's a website called gematrinator.com, and you basically put a word in, and it gives you a numerical value for the word. So A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and I sound like Zach every time anyone ever says that. But everyone has their own journey with because I've seen people that have woken up to Zach stuff, because everyone goes to Zach for Gematria. He's like the number one. Is Gematria Effect News? It's like the number one result that comes back when you start searching for them type of things. So everyone goes to Zach, but then they all have their own little spin-off. So I watched The Illusion. There's a guy on YouTube called The Illusion. He does Gematria decoding. He's very smart, but he codes everything towards like Jesus. So he woke up to Jesus. Like everyone's got their own thing that they do. I looked at a Bible when I first woke up. There's obviously points in the Bible and all these other religious texts that point to things that are happening right now and in the world and that have been happening. But yeah, I watched him do that. But everyone comes to their own little thing in Gematria. Mine seems to be around the eclipse at the minute. So I decided to make a TikTok, and because I just felt all these things that are happening around the eclipse, and like as soon as Jacob Rothschild died, I was like, why is there so many sixes? Why is it all linked to this eclipse?
Very sorry to hear that Jessie has lost his channels on YouTube. I mean, I feel so penalised, so abused by it, because it's always doing things to your videos. It's like you can see them destroying your channel, and then they'll go, oh, you had less views, which is what they've created. And I don't, what? Because I'm making people think, or I've got I've got an opinion, you know? I don't think I'm really doing anything. But they still are really having a go at me. Keep taking videos off. We took one off the other day. You know, it's no harm whatsoever. It's just an opinion. Oh no, it's got to go because it doesn't meet our standards. Well, nothing meets their standards really. And he's lost his channels. So I'm not the only one that's feeling the great big pinch. Yes. Anyway, let's carry on with this video.
That has a story that needs to be told. We're looking to share that on the missing link. So thanks for coming to our Rumble channel. We've had our our fifth and our sixth YouTube channel deleted. Our fifth one was the Missing Link Live, and then our sixth one was our backup, the High Vibe Love Tribe, and we've had that channel for 4 years. And that one got deleted, maybe in 5 years. That one just got deleted because we were putting our backup interviews on there, and for some reason they just deleted that for us as well. So we're not on YouTube at all right now. I've been kind of busy, lots of craziness going on, kind of within life. And so we're, looking where we will make another YouTube channel. I'm going to actually make 3 YouTube channels. We're going to go with the Missing Link Live 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll have 3 channels out at the same time. So if one does get a strike, we'll go on our second one. A second one gets a strike. We're going to do 3 channels for on YouTube. We're going to try it this time. We'll do 3 at once, and we'll do the best that we can. But
yeah, there's definitely agents out there. There's that Gary Waterman. Did you have Gary Waterman on?
yeah, we've had him on, I think, 3 times, and we're going to be having him on again. I like his information. I think that, it's really, interesting when someone from the dark side, the police force, someone comes over into the light and they become some of the most, brightest lights that are trying to go out there. I've heard someone say, well, he must be an agent, he must be a Mason, he must be this, he couldn't know all this, or, but I just appreciate anyone who risks, whatever, to come and share coming, on our show, because there's a lot bigger channels out there that people could be sharing their information on. And, I look to try to ask the best questions that I can, hard hitting questions if I can, whatever source guides the way. So what do you think about Gary?
I saw it. 'Cause he only had like 300 subscribers when I seen him. And he seemed like I don't know if you know the guy called Mark Sexton.
I've heard him.
Yeah, so he's like another UK guy that was supposed to be in the police, that came out of the police, that had all this information. And there was an army guy. There was a guy that was in the army, and he went and he detained a police officer for basically like treason, which is essentially what he was doing. It was all around the COVID times. He not arrested. He was threatening to use Section 24A. So in the UK, that's basically the right to arrest a police officer if they believe that they're going to be causing danger or harm or anything like that. He threatened that, but obviously he weren't causing danger or harm because the police guy just wanted to get out of there. So he said, well, I'm wanting to detain you or whatever. But yeah, Mark Sexton was the guy that the guy that basically came out first as a police officer that was against COVID. And to me, it seems like, have you heard of Mark Steele?
No, I don't think so.
So he's like a 5G guy in the UK that goes against all the 5G stuff and all the street light stuff. They're basically saying that they're putting military grade weapons inside your lampposts. So he came out with all this, and people calling him an agent, and they saw him doing Masonic stuff. And apparently he's got shares in a company that does 5G, this Mark Steele. So it all seems to there's like an awakening, and then there's another awakening. I call it the forced awakening. So basically they're doing all this stuff obvious, do all this really obvious, blatantly obvious to catch people and force them into an awakening. They don't have a natural progression of self-discovery. They have a forced, pushed in your face, commercialized and monetized and all this other culture that seems to have come out of social media in the last probably 5 years. It all seems a bit too commercialized for me. If you're going to give someone some information, why are you going to charge for that information? Information, they say, is the most valuable thing in the world. So you got some certain type of information against someone or with someone, you can basically act like you own the world. But if it's in the truth movement and it's supposed to be everyone's loving each other and we're supposed to be all waking up at the same time and helping each other, then why are the people trying to get money out of it? I understand that they don't want to go to a job like I've done today, and finish and then come home and talk about this type of thing. It seems like there's two different paths going on. That might bring me into talking about a guy in the UK called Woodlander. So there's a guy on YouTube called the Woodlander. He's been on. Have you heard of Richard Vobes?
Yes, I have. But before you move on to the Woodlander, Richard Vobes, you know, with this Mark Sexton, you said that, you know, he was speaking out against the 5G. He was speaking out against the lights, but he owned shares in the lights.
Mark Steele.
Oh, Mark Steele. Okay, Mark
Yeah.
Steele. So he said he was speaking out against the 5G. He was speaking out against these street lights that have this 5G technology. Now, you said that he owns stocks or shares in something 5G. What benefit do you think that it has for him to be speaking out against something that he owns shares in? Like, for him, people to even find out that he would own shares in something he's speaking negative against, like, none of that makes any sense how it would benefit him to be speaking out against something that he's invested in.
So this is probably the entire epiphany of what is an agent. A person that wants a certain reality to continue would oppose and be publicly opposed and pushed into the middle of things and made the limelight out of in certain worlds as another level of control and misinterpretation. So the guy owns shares in 5G companies. Apparently, this is all tracked, and basically people have seen what accounts and stuff he's got, and he has shares within these 5G things. So there's people that want to profit out of the awakening, and there's people that want to have an awakening. Is essentially what I was getting at with everyone getting all these paid subscriptions. And like, I understand people don't want to work a normal job. People do not want to do a normal job. I don't want to do my normal job. If I could sit on YouTube or whatever for and talk about my opinions and make money from it, well, why wouldn't I? It inspires me to do things, and it inspires quite a lot of people to do things. And I think people should be rewarded for the information that they give out. There's a lot of information out there, and it's down for us to decipher what we go with. But in sort of mainstream sort of views, if something happens in like America or something, there's a conspiracy usually in the mainstream media, and that becomes the conspiracy. Like there's no hidden, there's no like with what happened in the UK with all the riots. So there was like the conspiracy that it was all far right people, and then all the prime ministers like, oh, far right people. It weren't far right people at all. It was just normal British people that are getting pissed off about the Nan losing the heating allowance that they have for winter. Losing the heating allowance, and then they've got money to bring people in on boats or wherever from, and just pay for their life to have over here. That's the disparity. But this is happening all over the world, and this is all staged as well. This is all mind games and espionage. The whole idea of all these foreign people to be in all these Eastern European countries and America and wherever, it doesn't even matter where they're going. They're being bought for and shipped and paid. It's a version of human trafficking, in my opinion. These people are coming to these foreign lands, and they just want a better life. But that might be the main cause for some of them. But they also might be mercenaries in there. There might be a mix of mercenaries where there's agents within the people that are moving over, because there's people that live in this country and they provide services to get other people to come to this country using the little dinghies or whatever. There is literally a business of people doing that. So if it wasn't really allowed, and they weren't really allowed to come over and be illegal and be doing whatever that they're doing in whatever country that they're going to, then why would it be so? Because they're being forced from another direction. So it's a never ending story of the government giving the initiative and the say all of what's happening in reality. So apparently, if you're British now, you're far right. you don't want your country, because I've seen it over the last probably 10-15 years, the slowly building up of different cultures within, because I've always lived in small towns and little villages, and when it's a small town and a small village, and 90 to 95% of the population are white British, and then it suddenly becomes an influx of Eastern European or whoever. They say it's to try and diversify stuff, but it basically, in the other hand, is destroying what was British culture, because there's people that are speaking multiple. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. There's multiple people speaking different languages, and they all create a subculture within inside of a culture. So it's like going to I don't know, it's like going to the middle of France and trying to turn France into something that isn't French. And it's like going to the middle of say Saudi Arabia and turning Saudi Arabia into something that isn't Saudi Arabia. Things are places, and people have the cultures, and it seems like that they're trying to form a one mass culture of everyone just being one whole culture, and there've been no individuality of countries, there've been no individuality of people, and everyone will just be walking the old robot machine. That was a rant. This is a rant. I haven't even spoken really about anything that I've got down. Do you want me to read something of what I've got down now? Hello? Hello? If I realise I'm still live, then I'll keep going. Oh, I've gone full screen, so I must be still live. So, yeah. I've gone through all of that, and that was all just opinion. None of that was fact. Same as what I'm about. No, opposite of what I'm about to read. All of this is fact. You can go back and check it. So, I read the one about Jacob Rothschild. So, 6 days after the eclipse, 911 months after Israel's Independence Day, they declared missiles from Iran. And the word war equals 42 and 15, which was exactly the same as the date numerology on that day. And Iran equals 42 as well. And Israel equals 44 and 64, which is the same as kill. King Charles had a portrait drawn for him. King Charles' portrait was 8 feet by 8 feet 6 inches by 6 feet 6 inches. So you got 666 in there. And it was in the news the 135th day of the year. 135 plus the mirror number, which is 531, add them together is 666. Jonathan Yeo, his second name Yeo in Gematria equals 36. It was 36 days after the eclipse, which was 6, and 666 is the 36th triangular number. So if you took a picture of the image, it was if you mirrored it, it looked like the bath net. So Rishi Sunak declared a general election 33 days when that came out in the news. That was 33 days later. 43 days later, election equals 43. On 7/4, Independence Day equals 74. That was 666 days after the Queen died. Queen Elizabeth II equals 87. Number of the beast, 87. 666, 87. Date numerology, 55, which is Satan. Rishi Sunak declared national service on 26th of the 5th, 24. This is UK. 6 weeks and 6 days after the eclipse. It was declared on a Sunday, which is the day of resurrection. Declared 14 days after his birthday, when his birthday has 14-day numerology. National service 94, human ritual sacrifice 94, blood ritual sacrifice 94. Rishi Sunak equals 48 and 69, like false flag and Illuminati. King Charles was born on the 14th of the 11th, 48. 666 is 48. King is 75 years old. That old serpent, fallen angel, 75. From the king's born date, the declaration is 75 years, 6 months, 1 week, and 6 days. 616 is the original number of the beast. So 18624. This is, I don't know what this is. This is a World War decode. So date numerologies for the wars have been 68. I thought it was going to happen recently. There were 68 and it didn't. But they were a good code for it. Well, what was going to date numerology? Trying to remember. Alright. There was a guy in the UK called John Hunt. His wife and children were murdered by a crossbow. There was a guy that went all mental with a crossbow, apparently. He was murdered by crossbow, and his name, John Hunt, is 38, which is the same as murder. And Nikola Tesla's birthday was on the same day that this crossbow guy went out. Nikola Tesla equals 38. Police on hunt for a crossbow killer. Crossbow killer is 64, like the term crossbow attack, but it's 44. 44 and 64 are killed. Police on hunt for Carl Clifford, named as suspect. Carl Clifford equals 63. Hunt equals 63. And this was 3 months and 2 weeks after the eclipse. And 32 is level before 33 in Freemasonry. And this is the bit that I did recently. I just finished a TikTok on it. And so the UK riots started 3 months and 22 days after the eclipse. 322, I'm sure people have heard about, is the Skull and Bones Society. 322 Skull and Bones is 617, the 113th prime. So it was also a span of 113 days from the eclipse. UK riots equals 113. It was a 61 date numerology. Skull and Crossbones equals 61. And it was 3 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days after the eclipse, which Southport riots equals 233, which is the mirror of that, and Southport equals 44, and killed also equals 44. That was a little. That was basically all the stuff that I've been doing recently.
Hi, the beer guy. Can you hear me?
Yep. Have I just been talking all the way through?
Yeah, that's good because my computer for some reason froze and now I can't get internet connection, so I'm just on my phone while I'm trying to get my computer to work here.
All right, we're still live then, yeah.
Yeah, we're still live and everybody was listening. You were, sharing good that you kept talking because everybody was, listening to what you were saying, except for me.
Yeah.
I just couldn't hear. I was trying to get connected for some reason. The internet service is gone on my computer right now.
Over the last 322 days, was it? Whatever I've worked it out as. So basically, since the eclipse, I started noticing things that were happening in Gematria world. A lot of it was satanic to do with the royal family, and yeah, just basically other things that have come out in the news that had been linked to something to do with a 6 for in Gematria, or 666 or 66 or yeah. So it was just basically all them links together.
As you can see, this video has got to half an hour, and there's 2.25 hours of this video. I'm sure there's many more interesting topics that Richard's going to talk about, but obviously this video is on Rumble. Okay, it's I think if you put that in, you'll find it. But the missing link live. So go over to the channel and watch the rest. And thank you very much, Richard, for sending that. It's always great to know that people do have other opinions. Anyway, we can't help it if we're cleverer than they want us to be, although we see these things. Mine's a bit different, my path. But anyway, thank you, Jessie. Thank you, the big guy, Richard. If you want to watch some more, go over to Rumble and watch this. Thank you.